Alright, people. So I showed you, or you should have watched already, move it out, but you should have watched already that there was a video on a website that you can look at the structure of the face in 3 dimensions virtually and twist it and turn it to have an idea where the planes of the face are. The planes. Yes, the planes. So to know where the shadowing is and so forth. It was a great scaffolding model to draw with. This video, I have printed one out and I am going to draw it, breaking stuff down to basic shapes and explaining stuff along the way. So I'm going to show you how it all works. You should have had fun with it, moving the head around, laughing, giggling, and then looking at it on your computer to render as a preliminary before your final to understand placement of the face and placement of shadows. So enjoy. As always, listen for that transition. Right, as you can see here, I have a sketchbook. I'm getting a clean page. I got a printout of the 3D that you should have already looked at. And see here, I'm breaking down stuff in basic shapes. Shadows, midtones, highlights. Shadows, midtones, highlights. Shadows, midtones, highlights! Highlights! Basically, I'm breaking down those basic shapes that you already see there. And I'm explaining it right here, right now. If you got those 3 things, you have a dimensional figure. So I'm breaking down the basic shapes, start with a circle, and I'm going and using that as my scaffolding. Again, it was a website that I got. You should have on Google Classroom. And you can see here I am lining stuff up off the picture and going off that, taking it piece by piece. I'm not looking at the sum of the whole image. I am taking piece by piece and working piece by piece and putting it all together. Even my drawing is not going to be 100% accurate to the printout. Okay, I've been doing caricatures for a long time, so I always do a little bit of stretching, whether I like to or not. So you can see here that's looking pretty awesome. I might say so myself. But we're looking at it right next to the other piece, really fast, really fast. I'm using all the placement. I'm breaking down the basic shapes of the face that is already broken down for me and adding them in so I know where to shadow and where to highlight. Again, going over all the shapes that are in the face that was given to me. It's not 100% accurate. Now I'm going in and strengthening up those things. So you can see I'm going with a darker line on top of the eyelid because that's where a shadow would be. That was where a plane is. You can see the plane there. I'm shading, smoothing stuff out to make it look more realistic. Here, getting the shape of the eyeball. Going around, now I have to add an eyebrow. I'm adding an eyebrow there. Wonderful. When you do eyebrows, you want all the strokes kind of go in the same direction. That's how normal eyebrows, hairs kind of gather. Every hair gathers, just remember that. And you can see that I'm going dark and gradating it out to get that nice transition from shadow, midtone, and highlight. I'm looking off my paper, but you can see how I'm shading. I'm using the side of my pencil, I'm using the tip of my pencil. I'm moving the pencil around so I can get a nice smooth transition. You can see here I'm starting to thicken up lines. I've gone over and mapped my stuff out. I am shadowing, getting that form. Rounding off certain edges so it's not so sharp. Softening them with my shading so I have a nice transition and blending. I have a shadow, I have a midtone, and I have a highlight. Getting the lips in there. You notice I put like a little arrow on the lips. That's always kind of nice. Right there. And I'm shading. Notice where the shadows are. Underneath the nose, underneath the top lip, underneath the brow, underneath the eyebrow. because all light comes from the top. That's where the sun is. That's where the light fixtures are. That's where it's coming. You're going to shadow accordingly. Look at what I've done so far. Now I'm blending out with my finger. I'm going to start shadowing the other stuff, the cheekbone, as you can see on the side here that I'm doing. I'm using the side of my pencil to get a nice smoother transition, get it darker in certain areas. I'm thinking about the shapes that are there, how the planes are fitting together, because each one of those dark shapes on that image is a plane. Light reacts to that plane. It's an individual plane that are all pieced together to make a face. It's like using basic shapes to build something, a house, a face, a body, a pose. Everything is broken down to basic shapes, to their basic image, and you adapt those all together and you bring them together. See here I'm doing the ear, doing the shadowing, going the side again. Remember, I'm not scribbling. It may look like I'm scribbling, but I'm not. Circles as always. You want a smooth transition. You definitely want to work on your shadows, midtones, and highlights. Your highlights are done for you, all done with a regular HB Taragadashi pencil. Look at that. And now I'm going to just put some shadow on the outside, kind of cross hatch in a way, and you can see how that makes the face pop out rather nicely. This is done with the computer program that is on Google Classroom.